Hello and welcome. Today I want to take you along in another knitting vlog. So I just wanted to talk about what I've done between last vlog and now, and then see what happens in a week. I first want to show you an advent calendar. So here is most of my Olivia and Oliver Fibers advent calendar from 2023. And I want to be making 2 astrid pillows with this. So I have divided them into 2 pillows, one here at the top and one here at the bottom. I already put my crochet hook in there even, if you can see. The very prettiest colors I put with my sock yarn, because this is all sock yarn. So the prettiest little mini skeins I put down in my sock yarn stash, so I can make socks with those. But these will become 2 astrid pillows, and they'll kind of match, but they have different colorways in them, but they kind of look pretty similar because it is like a fade. Yeah, this was the Simply Sweet Advent, and I want to be starting this one this week. It is currently Thursday, October. Last time I was really bad at this, but it's October 16th, 17th. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen, whatever day it is right now. So that is one plan that I have. And other than that, I really want to start. I know I've talked about other whips I want to cast on, but it's okay. Cast on chaos. I really want to make the Inge sweater by Lenit or Lene Homme Samsu. And I was inspired by Caroline's Knits. I think that's her handle. She's on here on YouTube, and she was wearing her version. And then I got to thinking, I have been wanting to make the BB sweater by Rose Knitwear or Spectacle Strick. Something that I don't like about that sweater is because it's knitted bottom up. And I want to knit my sweaters top down, because the thing with bottom up sweaters is that when you start at the bottom, then you start with the draggy part, the on and on and on, like Body Island basically. And if you start at the top, you have the exciting part first. And I don't think at the end of a sweater, when you just want to get it done, the yoke is any fun anymore. So I feel like it's nicer to start with the yoke and then work your way down. And then at the end, when you're just like, oh, let's just finish this, you're like at Body Island. Because otherwise, both times is not enjoyable. So that's my reasoning for liking top-down sweaters. And the Inge sweater is a top-down sweater. And I have been thinking of making it with all of my fingering weight yarns held double. So I want to make it, it's a DK sweater, and I have a lot of different cones, so that's what I want to be making. But first I have a few other things to finish up or make. But what did I do? I have finished my Alma mittens, and I knitted these in Peer Gynt. The white one is the Tutti Frutti, and the green one is Tin Peer Gynt held double in Sunny Lime, and they look so beautiful. I'll put them on. Yeah, I'm really happy with these. And the next project I want to make is make mittens like this for my boyfriend. He doesn't really have any mittens, and it does get cold in the Netherlands if you're on your bike, mostly when you're on your bike, because then your hands are really cold in the wind in the morning. So I want to make that for him. And for that, I have washed a bunch of yarn, because this is, if you remember, this is my Dartmoor sweater inside out, but this is the yarn from my Dartmoor sweater, the leftover. I put it all in hanks, and then I washed it. I washed it together with this other cone yarn that I had. I'm not really into this color, but I really like it. I'm usually not into this color, but I really like it. But this one is a little well, the smell kind of got out, but it smelled really old. I think it's really old yarn. It's from some mill somewhere in North Carolina, USA. I bought it at the thrift store in the US. So I have like 5 of these, which is almost 500 grams of fingering weight yarn. But my boyfriend would like some of those mittens that I showed you. I think I'm going to make a different pattern. Oh, chaos. Those are the Alma mittens. And I'll put all the information in the description box if you're interested in what patterns I used. But for these, I want to make, I'll put the name and the picture on the screen, but I want to make this one pair of mittens that also has a bigger size because the Alma only comes in one size. And I want to use this yarn held together with like as one of the colors, and then the other color I want to use just a pure white tin Peer Gynt. So that's 2 fingering weight yarns, and then I'll hold both of them together, like double. So a DK weight mitten. But what I did here is I washed it, and then it kind of felted. So it's kind of like attached to each other, and I don't know if this is a problem. So if you do know if this is a problem, let me know. If it's a problem that yarn is kind of like felted as the yarn, because I do think it's fine to like, I can definitely skein this up still. Like it's definitely just still coming apart. So I don't know if that's an issue. So if you do know if it's an issue, let me know. But I've already started it. Okay, well, I would just be interested. So that's one thing, and I want to make those before starting the Inge sweater, because as I said in my previous vlog, I want to have one color work project, one texture project, and one stockinette project going at the same time. So this is going to be my first color work project, and then after finishing that one, I will start the Inge sweater. So what I finished more is this hat, and this one I made with my Handspun. So this is my first ball of Handspun yarn, and I held it together with a mohair. So the Handspun is both white and green, and then the mohair that I used is green. And it is the Silk Mohair Beanie by and it is actually supposed to be knitted with 5 strands of mohair held together, but I wanted to try it out, and it is really interesting because there's like so much variation in the thickness of this yarn because of my spinning. But you can't even really tell, like it's just a hat now. There's some parts of the, especially the white, that is like really big because that was my very first bobbin that I ever spun. So there's some really big ones. Yeah, like here, for example. And I also thought it was going to be a lot longer because I thought I had a lot more yarn. I weighed it, and then I thought I had like worsted weight yarn, which would give me a lot more yardage. But I think I need one of those like nitty knotties. I think that's what it's called. But to like measure your yarn, how much you have. Because right now I'm just like looking at what I think, what kind of weight it is, and then base it on the weight of the actual yarn that I have, and then just make an assumption. But this didn't really work out. But it is long enough to like use it as a hat. Like I can wear it like this too, but it's so like, it has so much firmness to it that it looks really weird. So I think like this would be the best, or like a little sailor hat, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I put it on my boyfriend and I thought it looked pretty cute on him, but it's definitely one of the hottest hats that I own because it's so thick. It's knit on 4.5mm needles with like basically an errand to bulky weight held with a mohair. So it's pretty thick, pretty dense. And you can see it too of how it's like just staying together. Like it doesn't flop in. So yeah, I was also thinking of making another one of those, but I'll postpone that a little bit because I have many ideas. And then in here is my Aurelia pullover. And after I talked in my previous knitting vlog, I don't think I worked on it, but this is definitely now my structured project, and I can smell it from here. So that's the issue with this one, it smells. But I have a new idea. So I have all of the leftover yarn for this. It came in a cone. I have all of that in hanks. Oh, it smells so bad. So what I was thinking is I am gonna knit this final little piece of yarn, and I'm holding it double so it will go pretty fast. I will knit that up in here, and then after that I will do research on how to make my yarn not smell so bad, because I did already wash those hanks, and this is one of the washed ones, but it still doesn't smell very good. I do think it will definitely be possible to get the smell out eventually. So I have decided now that I'm gonna be knitting this up and then put this on stitch holders together with my yarn that I still have, and then wash it thoroughly, but try to not felt it. And then hopefully the yarn will go away. I saw a comment in my previous knitting vlog saying maybe I should try something with vinegar, so I'm gonna try that out. I'll research a little bit how to prevent stinky yarn or get rid of stinky yarn. Oh, and one thing that I'm doing is I'm omitting the baubles from now on, because I don't really like the way they look and they're really annoying to knit. So I'm not a really big bauble fan. So my color project will be those new mittens. The structured project is the Aurelia pullover. My crochet project is those pillows that I showed you. And then I have a current stockinette project, which are socks. I haven't showed you these yet, but I am making socks for my grandpa. My grandfather is 92 years old, so yeah, still going strong, living by himself and doing amazing. And I thought he's like the most generous person in the world, and I thought it would be nice to knit him some socks. So I have one finished here. It is a self-drafted pattern. Like, I have a few knitting patterns, so I just use my own knitting patterns basically, but I like changed the numbers a little bit because I wanted to have 2x1 ribbing. So I have 66 stitches. So I have 33 on each needle. I'm doing the magic loop on 2.25 millimeter needles. And then I did a heel flap with 33 stitches. And this is a slip stitch heel with garter bumps on the side that I also have in my blossoming heart sock pattern. And then I made sure I know his foot size, which is the EU 43. So I had to knit a certain amount of centimeters for the foot. I did 1 centimeter of negative ease for the length. Yeah, so, and the toe was like 4. I counted 4 centimeters for those, but they turn out a little longer. So I definitely think they'll be big enough. And I started the second one last night while watching Love is Blind. Are you also watching Love is Blind? Let me know. I am currently on episode 10, and there's only 3 couples left. I don't know. I don't really watch reality. No, I don't watch reality TV, but I do watch Love is Blind. Okay. It is not like the other reality TV shows. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like it's a little different. A little more mature, but not really. Nah. And here's the other sock. I'm doing 40 rounds on the leg before starting the heel flap, and then doing a certain amount of centimeters for the foot. Yeah, so that's the stockinette project. I still have put to the side my 1993 tee that I'm turning into a thin sweater. So that's a little update for now, and I'll take you along with me throughout the week again. So talk to you soon. It's already so dark. It's like 6 o'clock right now. So I want to do a quick wrap up of today. I mean, like talk about what I've been working on. But here are my mittens that I have casted on for my boyfriend. I'm using this Norwegian pattern and I can't pronounce the name, so I'll put it on the screen. And yeah, I did a bunch of alterations. So I have made my own thumb chart because and I made a bunch of notes on things that I wanted to do differently. I don't want to show the pattern because it is a paid for pattern, but what I did want to do, and I'll show you here, it would like make a really tight bottom of where the thumb is, like here. So I made it like as wide as it would be here, and then I just increased till you would have a lot more room for your thumb. So your thumb wouldn't be here, but your thumb can be here. I did that on the other mittens that I worked on. That was in the pattern, the Alma mittens. But on these, they have the classical Selbu mitten style, where you would start with like just 3 stitches and like a lot less stitches, so it would be really tight here. And I have seen a lot of podcasters like saying it's too tight and stuff, so I just want to be ahead of that, and I have changed it. So yeah, actually there should only be 3 stitches here, but I increased it, and I'll put all of my notes that I put on here, like wrote down everywhere. I'll put all of those on my Ravelry project page, so that if you want to do what I did, you can. So that will be on there. Yeah, and here's the first like winter flower showing. I also did a few alterations on the cuff. Yeah, right now you can't really see how pretty this green is, but it's really nice. It's the leftovers from my Dartmoor sweater. It is a little thicker than the white, so the green, because I did felt it a little bit when I was washing it, but it really, in the color work, it's totally fine, and it will give my boyfriend a really nice thick mitten. So yeah, it's a little big on me, but they'll be perfect on him. And man, I like doing this back. I like doing the back. I like doing the 3x3 style, and I like the 1x1 color work too. I prefer that over this because here I have to look at the chart every single time, although it's completely symmetrical. So it's symmetrical this way, and then it's symmetrical side by side, so it should be easier than than it is. But yeah, I just keep looking at the chart. I have been working on the sock. I made the heel and I did all the decreases for the gusset, and now I'm just knitting straight. And here's the other one. So yeah, I just have a lot to go still. So I am like, that's how much I still need to do, like this much. So that's a lot of knitting in the round. I'm gonna be doing that now. I'm currently watching Expeditie Robinson, which is the Dutch version of Survivor. I think I've never watched that show, but it's with celebrities and they get put on an island, and it's one of the things I really like watching. So I'm just gonna be knitting stockinette because it's the first episode that I'm watching. So that'll be fun to watch. So yeah, that's a little updates in the middle of this. It's Sunday currently, so Sunday evening. Update time. If you think, why do you look so bad? It's because I'm sick. Yeah, it's like a super misty day today. So I don't know. I think the fall stuff is going on, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are sick. But I wanted to give you an update because, oh, now it's getting stuck. I casted on something new. So I think the fun thing about these vlogs is that I can take you along with me throughout like my thought process. Because at the start of this video, I was like, I want to do color work. I'm going to finish these mittens as soon as I can and then cast on the Inge sweater. I still want to cast on the Inge sweater, but then at some point I have this other thought and it's all just changing all the time. And I feel like with a regular podcast every month or something, you don't really see that process. But I think the process is the thing that's really interesting for other knitters. At least I like to see someone else's knitting process. But yeah, so this is the Cherish jacket, which is a pattern by Pop Knit. And this has been on my to knit list since since she released it, which is so long ago. I'll look up when it was. I think like 2022, 21. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen how long ago it was. But this has been on my list for so long. And it has a really interesting construction. You first just make the two, like the front and the back. And you just have this shoulder seam, which you do increases on. So you're creating this like triangle shape kind of. This is where the shoulder seam is, and then at some point you're going to knit just the front side and the other front side, and then also the back side. So yeah, that's kind of new for me. And what's mostly new is that it's completely charted. So there's no, but I don't think it's necessary to have it completely charted, but it's every single size has a chart for the entire front, the entire back, just everything. Whereas it's pretty simple. There's eyelets. I'll show you on the back, it's easier. There's eyelets, there's stockinette, there's like purl stitches, like purl bumps, and then there's these twisty twists. So that's it. So I think you could just write that down and then say like establish the pattern, and then like that's what I've done with a lot of other patterns, but this seems like a lot of going back and forth. But it's okay. I just memorize it and I'll just look at the one of the charts, the one of the left front, and then just understand what's going on with the other ones. But yeah, I remember looking at it because I bought the pattern a long time ago and I thought, wow, this is really complicated. It's written like really confusing, I would say. Like there's like written instructions, but the written instructions are only 2 pages. Like everything is in the charts. I don't know, it's not super clear, I would say. Then I did finish the socks. Here they are. I finished the socks and have woven in all the ends for my grandpa. I made sure to do the jog of the stripes on one side, like on the opposite sides, so he can wear them on the inside, but I don't think he'll notice. So I don't think he'll wear it like that. But I did think about it to alternate that, and how I do that is to change the side where the heel is going to be. Yeah, so I didn't use a pattern. I just wrote it down myself. If you're interested in that, I could potentially, I was thinking of maybe releasing a free sock pattern because they're so simple. I don't feel like charging for them. Yeah, so let me know if you're interested in that. This is a 66 stitch circumference on 2.25 millimeter needles. And I was thinking of making a similar sock for my boyfriend. And I don't know, I was just thinking of writing down just a regular vanilla sock pattern for myself, just to use for myself, based on everything that I like the kind of heel flap that I like, and how many stitches I like there to be on the heel turn and everything. And yeah, I don't know. So let me know if you're interested in a free vanilla sock pattern. I thought it would be fun. So, but that will be later. For now, I need to block these, but I am collecting a few smaller projects like the mittens and the hat to do like a little blocking party. And then after I finished those, I thought, okay, that's for my stockinette project. Now I can grab this one again, which is that sweater I've been working on. The 1993 tee turned thin sweater. But I don't know, sometimes just just goes so slow. And also I just joined another ball, and then here's my final ball. And now I'm like, don't know if I have enough yarn for the long sleeves. So I was thinking maybe I should first knit both sleeves, just put these stitches on hold, knit the two sleeves, and then see how much yarn I have left. Because I don't really mind cropping the body a little bit. It's a lot longer than the 1993 tee should have been, but it's shorter still than the thin sweater. So somewhere in the middle will be fine. Yeah, this is the test knit. Probably my last test knit ever. If you have seen my why I don't test knit anymore video, you might know. But I did finish it, but then I wanted to make it longer and make it look like the thin sweater. So that's that one. I just put it to the side. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. So yeah, I wasn't really feeling any of my projects. That's why I cast on a new one. So I feel happy again. And then I need to talk about this one. So I have been working on, I don't know why there's yarn on this one because I casted it off, but it's not done. Here is this mitten. This mitten I was knitting for my boyfriend, and I'll put it on. I have made it a lot longer, and I have changed the color work on the top a little bit, but it's still too short for him. So what I have done, and I've updated everything on my Ravelry project page, but I have made a new chart for just the top bit of how long I want it to be, and I'll probably make it like this long, probably, something like that, which will give him enough room. He was like debating whether or not this was the good amount, but I really like making this type of color work. I really like this 3x3 color work. I have updated my Ravelry project page and put in all the alterations that I did. So I made alterations on the thumb. I wanted to create more room so you could put your thumb actually out here and not have it tucked here. So I casted on more stitches, made this wider, and also like cast on less stitches here so that the thumb would go outside. You'll see that once I actually finish the thumb. So that's one thing I did, and there's more things. Everything is in my Ravelry project page. It's mostly to make it big enough for my boyfriend's hands, which I'm always like they look so normal to me, but apparently they're a large size. Yeah, so I'm gonna frog this. I already picked up the stitches. I'm gonna frog until here and then elongate it. And also I put this was like improvised color work here, these crosses. I don't like them, so I changed that too in my own little chart. So that's the mittens. And then for my Aurelia, I have not done anything. And I said I was going to be strict on myself, but you know, if you don't want to work on something, you don't want to work on something. So what I was thinking, what I should do is I should just cut the yarn off that I have now and wash everything. Because it's really holding me back. And someone asked me about the stinky yarn, why I would ever want to work with stinky yarn. It's because it's in cones, like greasy cones, and they use a lot of spinning oil. And they say to wash it before using it. I didn't do that. And I know the smell goes out of it because it worked for my Dartmoor sweater. But that yarn was a lot less stinky, so it was okay to work with while I was knitting the Dartmoor sweater. But for some reason, this particular Aurelia pullover yarn is really bad. So, yeah. Also, I want to thank people who have sent me a pattern. Last video, I introduced the fact that I have a wish list. I have had that wish list since forever, but I've never really said I had it and like told people they could support the channel. But thank you so much for the people who have gifted me patterns. Now I'm like, oh, I should really cast those on. And actually I had just bought this pattern for these mittens, and then someone bought me this songbird mittens pattern, and I was like, yeah, that's my next one. So I'm really, really grateful for that. It's a really fun way for me. I don't know, it just makes me super happy. Yeah, especially when it's patterns that I would have bought anyway at some point, but then just to get them as a gift, it's really nice. So thank you. I think that's the update for now.
I don't know if you can really hear me. I'm pretty sick. I'm even wearing a scarf inside. But I got pretty far. I already finished the yoke and the increases for the shoulder. And now I'm working on the left front. I'm about halfway through that. And yeah, being sick makes for a lot of knitting time. I don't remember ever feeling this sick. Like since I've lived here, which is like about a little less than 4 years, which is crazy, I think. Yeah, like I don't remember being this sick, being in my current job, and that's 4 years ago. So, yeah. Now I'm just knitting. It's Thursday, so it's the next day ever since I showed you this. What I wanted to tell you about is that I used 5.5mm needles. You might hear some music in the background, by the way. I couldn't bring myself getting my microphone, so sorry. I'm using two types of mohair. This is Drops Kid Silk, and this is a mohair from Color Mart, which is very discounted. Yeah, where you can buy like yarns, leftovers or something from bigger brands or whatever. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm so sick. Anyway, this is 100% mohair, and I got this like when I first like learned about mohair, but didn't learn enough. So it's a lace weight, 100% mohair, and this is a mohair silk. And then I'm using, for the variegated color, I'm using this Hobby Lobby hand dyed yarn, which together it creates this beautiful fabric. And I think it's gonna like grow a lot with blocking. So yeah, I'm just knitting on that. I think I really like how the colors go together. It's kind of like a soft pink hue over it, which is nice. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep going. Hey, still sick. I wanted to give a little update because this one, the left front and the back are both done. So I need to start working on the right front. But I ran out of my caked yarn for the main color. So I have that here in this cute little project bag from Traine. Here it says. Where I have all my yarn. So there's my kid silk and my mohairs, my other mohairs in there too. But this is the main yarn that I'm using, and I just wanted to show it. Oh, I'm already untangling it. Well, there's another one. But I wanted to show it before I was gonna wind it all, because yeah, then you won't see it in this form anymore. Yeah, so this is the yarn before it was caked up. So all the like beautiful speckles in the blue in it, and here too. So I'm gonna wind these, and now that I'm winding, I'm also gonna wind my minis, because I have all these minis here, and I just took a picture, like a group picture with all the names on it, because I'm gonna take all of these off now, and I want to remember which ones are which color. So yeah, I took some pictures, and this one I already wound up before. Strawberry donuts, and yeah, so all these minis together will be a crocheted pillow, which I think will be really fun. I haven't decided on a main color yet, and I will order that once I'm ready to join them together. So I'll do that later. I'll first just make the squares. And man, I love these colors. I really like the moody ones. I think it's because it's fall. It's so beautiful outside right now, and I can't go outside. I can't enjoy it. Anyway, I'm gonna do some winding. Okay, there's something so weird. There's 3 ends and they're all mixed up, and I can't really continue here. Like, you're never supposed to have to unravel anything with a hank like this, but there's 3 ends, so there should be a 4th one somewhere. This is getting pretty messy, I can already tell. So this is not super fun. Like, if I do this, then this is all like messed up. But I think I'll just keep going with the end that I chose now because there's no way of knowing what to do, and I'll unravel the other ones a little bit. Alright, so this was one of the skeins. Like, what? And then here's the next one, I guess. So hopefully this will just go fine. As you can maybe see, this one is a lot more colorful. And I already noticed that when I unwound the skein, there's a lot more of the yellow and the red in there. And this one is a lot more similar to my first skein. I can just like remember how that one looked, and it was like this one, and this one is definitely a lot more colorful. But that's okay, because this project has so many different, like, it has 3 strands, first of all, and it has so much different structure that it doesn't really notice, it's not super noticeable. But I will use this to finish the body, and then use this one for the sleeves, and if I need it for maybe the button band, I'll use that one too. And this is just so weird. I guess I didn't really order hand-dyed yarn from a hand dyer who would not do that, but yeah, good thing it worked out and I found the 3 things and I didn't start to mess it completely up. But yeah,